Happy Easter, good morning from Bells Beach. We're here on day 5 of the event window for stop number 2 on the WSL Championship Tour, the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach. And it is a beautiful morning with great conditions coming our way. Ronnie Blakey, joined by a former Big Wave Tour champion, Peter Mell. Morning, Pete.
Good morning and happy Easter.
Thank you very much. Very excited about what's to come today. Obviously, yesterday we saw some great performances. Felipe Toledo blew our minds. John Florence, he's carrying that form that saw him get the victory over in West Oz. And Julian Wilson looked sharp too. Chloe and Dino, all those top seeds really fired. Just a couple of hiccups by the top seeds in the top 10 there. Jordy Smith and Joel Parkinson, who have to fight their way out of the first 2 heats of the second round.
And they're going to come up against these wild cards that actually put on pretty good performances. Even Glendon Ringrose, he did not disappoint. And I think that this is a heat where Jordy cannot take him very lightly. He's got to go out there and post a couple 8s if he really wants to make sure that he's going to get himself into round 3.
And there is the 44-year-old Glendon Ringrose, a former Championship Tour competitor. He's run these steps before with the jersey on.
And he's riding his self-shape. Those are all boards that he has put, his shaped himself. So that's kind of neat. I mean, that's kind of what Bells was built on back in the day. Everyone used to come and build their Bells boards and come down here and do that pilgrimage down the stairs. So it's good to see these kind of holding some tradition there.
Definitely. Glendon Ringrose, he's from Phillip Island, and looking forward to seeing how he fares. He's been working on this event as part of the Water Patrol team the past few seasons, and we also see him in Fiji as well.
He knows everyone's secrets.
That's
right.
When
he gets them on the back. He knows. He's studied every single one of these competitors he's going to be up against, especially Jordy Smith.
Joel Parkinson, also a tough draw. He's up against Miguel Pupo's little brother.
Sammy Pupo, and this is one of the kids that we see as a prodigy heading towards this championship tour. Had good success last year on the QS. Again, this year putting in time just in the bigger events, but also now getting some experience in the big leagues. And I think that as a 16-year-old, you can get a little bit stunted by the lights, but this kid is so mature. That's one of his assets, is that he has been around it for so long that I think he feels that he's belongs here. So this is going to be a tough draw for Joel.
Definitely. Glendon Ringrose, he's been turning up to these events and surfing the trials the last few years. The thing that's really worked against him is the conditions. For the trials this year, there was a bit more size in the ocean, and that took the advantage away from some of the other great surfers in Victoria. Ringer was able to swing that big backhand snap, and he got the victory that way. And with the swell kind of pulsing this morning and some energy in the water, it could really help him against Jordy Smith.
Well, it's going to be a heck of a lot different as you see that shot of what that day looked like. It was howling, onshore winds, stormy. It was a difficult lineup. Today, I think, is a much different. The canvases are so clean and clear that any flaw can be exposed. So he's got to surf immaculate. His rail's got to be clean. He's got to surf kind of like Parco is going to have to, like it's going to be this beautiful, clean, smooth lines. You see the conditions today. That northwest wind is exactly the type of wind you want here, and the swell is holding in there. There's some overhead sets. It is inconsistent at times. So again, that focus will be on that best wave of the set. You got to be on those.
Jordy Smith looking very focused. Really tapping into some great form in 2017. Had a couple of shaky heats over in WA, but also laid down probably some of the biggest turns and seemed like the guy most likely to, I think, challenge John Florence. But Kaloe Andino ended his run over there. He's had some great success here in the past and was super frustrated after his first round heat. It just didn't go his way. He couldn't find a section.
Yeah, but he has the skills, he has the ability, he has the talent to surf Bells Bowl better than anyone in this draw. So it's just a matter of allowing him to, just not letting wave selection get in the way. And also there could be that inconsistencies of maybe getting too picky. But if you look at these two, I love this matchup. I think Glendon has nothing to lose here and everything to gain. Jordy kind of in the same boat. Like he needs to produce here.
Heat 1 of round 2 features last year's world title runner-up Jordy Smith and a former Championship Tour competitor, the winner of the trials, Glendon Ringrose, in what should be an epic battle. Jordy Smith, his surfing will fit these conditions perfectly as we clear the lineup and get set to get competition underway. And of course, no day of competition kicks off here at Bells without AC/DC's Hell's Bells ringing out over the contest site. And here we go. Things getting started now. Glendon Ringrose trying to climb up into the lip. He goes down. And that opens the door for Geordie to get off to a thrilling start here. Let's see what he can do. Has some speed. And he's going to burn it on this first turn. Drives up into the face. Just a smooth hack, pacing himself at the moment. And again, just goes hard on that rail. Plenty of lumber under his feet. But no one swings a big board around like Geordie Smith. And he gets a finish. Just a very tidy start to the first heat of the day.
That was great. That's exactly what you need to do against a wild card. Just demoralize. Go out there, pick the best wave. He held position. And, of course, with that wave held up the entire way through. 2 huge arcs. Nice variety. Again, just exactly what he needed to do to apply pressure to Glendon.
Here goes Ringrose on that backhand. Just setting up. Nice float there. Knows this wave very well. A 44-year-old looking for an answer. No big major turns that are going to match the power and flow of Geordie Smith there. But it's much better than his first effort.
Had a chat with the coach, Chris Gallagher, this morning, just kind of getting a little bit of a vibe of how Geordie takes on these days. And when you have that first heat, Galley's like, hey, I get him up early. So he's already been awake for several hours, so it was a 4:30 wake-up call. Get a good breakfast in you and just move through the day like it's later in the morning. You want to start your day super early when you've got those early round heats.
Sitting in a good spot on the ratings at the moment, Geordie Smith. Another one of those competitors that's had some real brilliant moments, despite the fact he's currently carrying a 9th and a quarter final towards his world title campaign. But here's that first ride.
Yeah, and this is just going through the paces. This is a warm-up wave, and it's still going to be probably almost excellent because just the lines he's drawn, great pace, all of those things that Geordie uses as his asset. And this wave went all the way through. He had the finish, a great start, carried a lot of speed, especially this turn here. You see it times it perfectly, and that's that arc. You can see the arm swoops through. A little different for Geordie. Geordie brings that front arm back underneath him in that arc. Little different style, but you're always kind of compressing or expanding through a maneuver. And that allows you to keep the rail all the way soaked through the maneuver, sinking it all the way to the channel. It's beautiful stuff. Then you look at Glendon here and see just a tiny bit of, almost similar to see where his foot is, almost Jadson Andre style on the backhand. You get that foot pushed over on the side of the stringer. His board's a little wider, so in order to get that rail sunk in the water, he's got to keep that foot, a good 4 or 5 inches off the stringer over on towards the rail, especially that front foot.
Well, good numbers coming through for Geordie Smith. A 7.83. Glendon Ringrose has only managed a 3.33 in reply so far. Let's get an update on the conditions, and it is a big happy birthday to our good buddy Strider Wasilewski. Morning, mate. Happy Easter.
Morning. Happy Easter to everybody out there as well. It's a beautiful morning here, straight offshore. It's nice and chilly, brisk, I should say. It's a little bit, the tide's on the way down still, so still great waves at the bowl and really just a beautiful morning here, but it is chilly. I watched all the surfers come up off the beach and their feet were like ice blocks. And it was pretty funny watching them walk up the beach. But you know what? I'll tell you what, all the crowd down here already in the morning, the Victorians are hardcore. Looks like the Whoopie has made it over from America. They're all warmed up on the beach. And you know what? A hardcore bunch of fans here. We got the Water Patrol up there. They're psyching. They were so upset to see their man Glendon Ringrose fall off on his first wave, but they're hoping he regroups out there. And Hell's Bells came on over the loudspeaker. Everybody got super excited. So a beautiful morning down here. Should fill in all day, get even bigger. And then for tomorrow, we should out see even more swell.
Thank you, Strider. And again, mate, have a good birthday. So plenty of time left here for Glendon Ringrose to formulate a plan to overcome Geordie Smith. It is going to be super difficult. Geordie has just made Bells Beach like a second home, especially out there in the lineup peak.
Well, he's perfectly built for it. It's a style of surfing is just it's mirrored to this wave. That's the kind of, you look at, again, if you were to look at all the strengths in a venue towards the surfer, this is one of his that you would say that he's just that close to getting himself a bell.
Is Glendon a chance in this heat of
It's going to be hard.
Geordie?
It's going to be hard. I just after that first exchange, I would say that the odds are very, very slim. Not to say that there isn't ever a chance, because anything can happen, but just by the looks of that first exchange, again, posts almost excellent, 7.83. Now he can just sit back, and I think that Glendon just doesn't have that man-on-man experience. When you can start off as strong as Geordie has, he's been surfing man-on-man heats for his entire career now, and I think he's just so comfortable that the firepower is just too strong. You would think that unless he just makes a major error, that he's going to take this heat win.
Well, Geordie having a look without priority and an insider here, and if he can surf this one well, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Glendon as Geordie just whips off the top a couple of times already on this wave. So that low tide just giving us some great conditions this morning. And on his search for a backup, Geordie just keeping busy, keeping that board flowing. Floats through those dead sections so well on this big craft and brings it through to the inside. And you can just tell he's just pacing himself at this stage. That first wave is 7.83. And Geordie, he just has a whole nother speed he can go to. He can apply a lot more power. He's just doing what he has to do to get the win here.
So he's riding his G-Rabbit, standard shortboard, little flatter rocker. Bells Beach being that it's not that steep walls. Even during the low tide, it's still the best maneuvers are those big round arcs, and Geordie has them. You can see the snap here to start it. Just easily paced. You don't want to rush it. I like how he was able to come out of that cutback straight into a bottom turn. And it's not looking, as much as he is paced, it's still quick in regards to what Bells looks like. You feel like sometimes you can see a surfer that's rushing, and he's not done that. He's just cruised his way through another good score. This being his backup, probably not going to be as strong as his first wave, but it's going to put Glendon in a really tough situation. Now, Geordie's going to be free to even go bigger.
Love that bucket list clip that just dropped on worldsurfleague.com with Geordie Smith and Jack Freestone taking a helicopter ride when they were up there on the Gold Coast to a secret location and scoring big time. You can go to worldsurfleague.com and have a look at that now. But Geordie Smith puts away a 6.67 on his second ride. This is one event that, you just think if Geordie wants that world title, he has to get a victory here. All those right-hand point breaks are big opportunities. And the Gold Coast was a bit of an opportunity loss. Margaret's, he was just on the wrong side of rhythm with the set waves in the quarterfinals against Kolohe there. But, a victory here at Bells would definitely put him in a great position leaving Australia.
Well, and if you're talking world titles, wins are everything. It's 10,000 points. It's 2,000 points more than a second. And even that is, 6,500 for quarterfinals. For semifinals. So it's huge to get wins, and that's what I think. If you're going to go world titles and win world titles, you got to have wins in your scoreline. Yeah,
and you talk about those world title contenders, and you think about where their opportunities were lost. Mick Fanning on the Gold Coast. That's just an event that you go. If Mick wants a world title, he's got to do well here. Didn't do well. Felipe Toledo bagged out of the contest in the second round. Geordie only collecting a ninth. Julian Wilson an early round loss. Yep. So they're the title contenders that we talk about all the time that have some catching up to do.
I have a lot of catching up to do.
Just under 20 minutes to go here, and Geordie Smith well out in front now. Glendon Ringrose chasing a two-wave total of 14.51. Let's check in with the birthday boy again.
Yeah, boys. Well, we're down here with Glendon Ringrose's crew. There they are. They're the water patrol, and they're also his caddy right now. So they're kind of psyched, trying to send him out some good vibes and some energy. The door's still a little bit open for Glendon, so he could do it. But we talked about it. The boys said, we told him to go straight up, not do round turns against old Big Geordie. So they're looking for the vertical slams. Hopefully he can get some done.
We love it.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen in there, it looks like. Who's actually running the ship? You are, Strider?
Yeah, I'm running the ship down here. Actually, I got the jet skis under control. I got a Tom Carroll doll on the ski out there. Don't worry, he's driving the ski, and we got it by remote control right now. I was just wondering who's running the ski out there that you guys are all here. T-Ray's out there. Yeah, T-Ray. Tony Ray's out in the water now.
A very experienced water patrol team. Thank you, Strider. Jeff Rowley on hand down there. He's a great big wave surfer, Pete. You know him really
T-Ray
well.
Too.
Tony Ray, of course, a former Championship Tour competitor, a former Eddie invitee, an amazing surfer. At the moment, 18 and a half minutes to go, and the Water Patrol are praying for a wave, as is Glendon Ringrose, the son of 2 Kiwi missionaries, born in Vanuatu, spent his childhood...
In Vanuatu?
Vanuatu.
Really?
Yep. And spent his childhood sort of hopping the islands between Fiji, Vanuatu, and the Solomon Islands. That's where he's...
I'm sorry, okay, so Vanuatu, what is the passport you'd carry?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's an Australian.
Aussie. Yeah, but, I mean, what is Vanuatu its own country? What is it part of?
I don't know, Pete. It's a good question.
Throw down, I have to research that one.
But, yeah, he first rode waves over in the Solomon Islands, and his family moved back to Oz, or moved to Australia, living in Port Macquarie. His brother had been surfing around Phillip Island and said, mate, if you want to get some good waves, uncrowded waves, get down here. So he made the move, and then he started sort of taking on some Australian Championship Tour events, or Australian circuit events, and eventually hit the QS, qualified for the tour, 99 and 2000. He was on tour. He was the best newcomer in 99. He had a heat here with Shane Dorian in 99, who Shane went on to win the contest that year. That was in
big
the third
win.
round.
To get a bell there for Shane.
He finished 27th on the ratings in 99, and in 2000 finished 42nd and dropped off tour. Just missed out on qualifying.
And to lose to the eventual champion, that's always like, if you're going to lose, losing to the champ makes it a little less of a hard pill to swallow. The Republic of Vanuatu.
Yeah, there you go.
The Republic of Vanuatu.
So they're Glendon Ringrose. Another part of his story is he's actually just had testicular cancer.
Whoa.
So that was at the start of the year. So this is a big moment for him.
That's huge.
So he is bouncing back from that. And what better way to do it than with a performance in a Championship Tour contest?
It's pretty cool. I mean, that story is amazing, you know, and I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about this opportunity. Right now, he's probably wishing for a wave, though. I mean, his performance in that round one, he had a chance. You know, there was one fall in particular, really, in that heat that probably would have been, had he pulled off that final move, it probably would have been enough to get himself into round three, or at least close to it. I mean, he had John in there, and John did end up getting the 9 at the end of the heat, but it was kind of like at that point in time, they could have put a little different pressure onto John and see how that performance would have happened.
Well, just over 15 and a half minutes to go. Geordie Smith well out in front at this stage. Glendon Ringrose will try and mount a comeback when we return from the break.
Welcome back to the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach. Strider Wasilewski down here with Kieran Perot, the commissioner, and we have got a surfer's dream going on. Lines to the horizon.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're just looking out the back now and we can see lines stacking up. This is what you come down to Bells for, those endless lines that, in stack up into the bowl. Perfect conditions for the bowl, good stiff offshore, really helps it to just hold that straight line. Tide's great. So we're into men's round 2, obviously, and we're keeping men's round 3 and the women's quarters on standby. Expecting the swell to fill a little bit through the day, and it should be a really great day.
Do you have any intentions to moving down to Winky on the tide with the high?
Yeah, I mean, that's been one really great benefit this year. We've been able to get a permit to go over to Winky through the Easter weekend. We always love using the bowl when we can, and today it's firing right now. If that swell builds, we might get a little longer out of it, but the tide being high through that afternoon period, going to limit the options over here, so most likely we'll have to pack up and head over to Winky and we'll see great waves like we did yesterday.
Well, the women sure did get a great end of that yesterday. How do you guys make those decisions of who's going to go in the water?
Well, today it'll probably be a little bit about how much time we've got left this afternoon. We'll calculate that based on how long it takes us to get over there and what the conditions are doing. The women's are up to the quarters, so they're quite close to being at the end, and we've still got a lot of men's heats to do, so we'll weigh that up and see how many heats we can fit in this afternoon and make a decision.
All right, well, there you have it. The commission's made the call. Back up to the booth.
Thank you, Strider. 12 and a half minutes to go. Back in the day, there was a reluctance to split rounds where, that maybe a surfer was getting an advantage by only surfing 3 times on finals days as opposed to 4. But it's kind of something that's put back on the surfers sometimes. If we want to get the best conditions for the men's event, then quite often they'll do that. So we'll see what unfolds.
Weigh the decision. It comes down to, okay, so if we're going to have to maybe split the round, what does that mean for someone who has to maybe surf an extra day? Like, you weigh that option.
Well, here we go, Geordie Smith looking at ride number 3 here. It's a good-looking wall. Ringrose had priority, but let Geordie take it, and Geordie, he's going to punish him for it here. Surfing very well on this ride. That's 3 big turns already. Just mixing up the approach there. He's going to have room to move on the inside as well. And just a clean fin throw to finish. 11 and a half minutes to go. That should go into the top 2.
I mean, this feels like that's only about 80% Geordie, and 80% Geordie is looking the goods. Those were 3 amazing turns. He even got the 4th vertical hit up there. So smooth in transition. All of that stuff, just, that whole entire ride, you just kind of go, wow. There was not one hitch. See how he drops in, takes the high line right out of the gates, and then sets up the bottom turn. The big Geordie hack. Straight to the bottom and does it again. 2 big layback snaps. The second or third one here, third turn, a little bit more extended. And then the vertical tag off the top. So 4 turns on that outside section. Generally, you'll see 1, 2, sometimes 3, but not 4 solid moves like you saw there. And then he gets the finish on the inside. It's going to be his best wave. You take a look at this slow-mo here. You see he tries to mix it up a bit. There's that first turn where you the Geordie hack. I mean, that is a standard textbook Geordie. Not even really pushing it too hard. And then there, gets a little more extended. And then the third one, you see he'll actually get his body completely extended. And that's even more committed. A little steeper section too. Look at he times it perfectly. Gets that back leg pushed out. And then somehow is able to fit a nice vertical off the top. So 4 turns on the outside. You would say this could be a big score.
Well, that's the kind of performance that, you could see taking Geordie to a world title, a 9.5. And the thing that I love is that the judges are rewarding him just based on the surfing that he's doing. He's surfing to the criteria, but he still has more to give. They would have seen more aggressive surfing from Geordie in the past, but in a heat against Glendon Ringrose, he's being well rewarded because there's just such a big difference talent-wise, and the surfing that Geordie's doing, you can't ignore it. It deserves to be well rewarded.
Agreed. And the thing too is his wave choice. I mean, Glendon passed that wave up, but that was a high-quality Bell's Bowl wave. It stood up the entire outside section, only really went flat for just a cutty, and then it stood back up again on the inside. So I mean, Glendon, I think in a made a mistake. I mean, that was a wave that easily if he had taken it, he could have closed the gap instead. It widened the gap by giving it to Jordy.
Yeah, big combination he's chasing now, 17.34. Jordy's on fire, looking super relaxed. 3 waves, all of them keepers.
You know, these early rounds, too, are so important in building momentum. And this is the exact kind of heat that Jordy needs to have. You know, he would have seen Felipe's performance yesterday or heard about it, saw John's performance, and this is the type of performance that Jordy needs to put and promote out there to help him in his confidence. And also have anybody who comes up against him, let's start to think about what they need to do. And it makes it so that they get applied pressure.
At this point, Glendon's saying, be careful, mate. You know, you embarrass me too much, you'll find yourself down the line at cloud break, not getting a lift back to the takeoff zone.
Oh, I couldn't get to you that quick. Sorry, Jordy.
Definitely not. Glendon's just a real gentleman.
We're joking.
And these guys obviously have had plenty of interaction the last few years with Glendon working as part of the Water Patrol at different stages throughout the roster. But Glendon, I think when Jordy got back to the takeoff zone, then it just said, you know, damn it, I should have taken that ride.
Yeah. Mutual respect. I mean, as surfers, you know, and Glendon, you know, he's put on performances, like you said, at Cloud Break. He gets there on the off days, and he's one of the guys to watch out there.
He's a devout Christian too, and it is Easter Sunday, so who knows? Maybe something special is coming his way. Here he goes, driving off the bottom into that first turn, getting that more vertical approach happening, staying as close to this pocket as possible, trying to keep that up and down rhythm flowing through to the inside. It's hard not to just look straight out the back though. Jordy Smith just stealing the limelight once again with a couple of big turns on the outside as Ringer looks for the finish. So that'll be Glendon's best wave. Not sure it will break combination for him as we see Jordy just behind, starting to loosen up.
Wow. Well, and that's that freedom of a 9.5 will do. Allow you to get a little bit more reckless. Well, I wouldn't say reckless, just a little bit more loose and exciting. You'd say that wave, and we'll get a closer look at it on the replay, but I feel like those 2 strong turns on the outside will maybe even improve a situation slightly.
I think Jordy's boards look, or his board choice this morning looks spot on. Just the way that board is cutting through the water. I haven't seen any sign of a caught rail, just silky.
And it's just, I mean, this is an older board. It's a board that's been tried and tested in a lot of sessions. It's been kept on ice. It's something they know is going to be, it's going to work. It's not going to do anything funny. No experimentation going down. I mean, look at that. It allows him to be so solid and so confident in every move. And then here he gets the opportunity to get a little more loose, gets that fin up and over. You know, trying to better a 7.83, I would say that probably has. Take a look at Glendon. This is going to be his best wave for sure. You know, his coach is saying to go more vertical. That was a little down carve. This one right in the pocket. You know, it's just the firepower of Jordy so strong. I mean, even though this is going to be a good wave for Glendon, you know, Jordy just, you know, these flatter sections, he's been able to kind of flow through it with speed. You know, and Glendon did well here to redirect, finish this wave solid. Definitely his best wave yet.
5 minutes to go here, and Glendon puts away a 5.5, doesn't break combination. Meanwhile, Jordy Smith banks an 8.9. So he's on a tear out here today. Glendon Ringrose, you think about the surfing he did on the championship tour, and he really came on when the waves were big and barreling. He absolutely charges. Chopu, he was always a standout there. Pipe, he had some good performances. I remember a heavy wipeout he had in 2000, the year he failed to qualify. But I'll never forget the wave. The most memorable wave I saw him catch was that, I think it might have been a 10. It was a 10 at Chopes, and he got dropped in on by Jake Patterson. He got dropped in on from the takeoff. He was way back. Jake was so far on the shoulder, he had no idea Glendon was even in the barrel behind him. He got spat out behind Jake, and Pato was just wondering where he came from.
He had no idea.
Was an incredible tube rider, still is.
And so I would, that's That's an amazing story. And Jake basically didn't have priority, and that was a priority error.
The greatest moment of Glendon's career was the most embarrassing of Jake's. Taking off, pulling into the barrel, and having someone behind you. Heavy.
It would have been even worse if he like claimed his barrel, and then all of a sudden, here comes Glendon flying out from nowhere.
So 3.5 minutes to go.
And he still charges. You know, that's the thing. He's an avid surfer. He gets out there all the time, anytime he can.
That's right, yeah. The surf's Cape Woolamai, Express Point. There is locals. But still gets after the big surf in Cloudbreak during the free surfing sessions that are going on after a big day's work. Often the Water Patrol.
That's the tips.
They'll have their boards out there. They'll jump into the lineup. And we've seen Glendon tuck into some really good barrels out of Cloudbreak over the years.
Well, being on his forehand, goofy footer, would love that. I mean, that's the dream wave for the goofy footer, especially guys that like that heavier water.
He looks like he's enjoying his time out in this lineup with Geordie at the moment. The boys having a bit of a laugh.
Well, it kind of relieves the pressure, right? When your buddy there is comboed you, kind of loosens things up in the lineup for both of them.
Well, if Glendon is knocked out here, and it looks like that's going to be the case, he's still going to bank $10,000 US. Pretty good conversion for the Australians.
Solid. You know, that'll help out.
That's a holiday for sure for the family. 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here. Geordie Smith's done all he needs to do. Every wave he has taken off on has resulted in a great score. It's been a very polished performance and a big bounce back. He kind of was missing just some of that rhythm, just the mojo of tapping into, I think, some good waves and really constructing some solid scores. And this will be a big confidence builder for him going forward.
You know, and looking out, you know, last year's performance, he was able to, finish runner-up. He did get a bell. It was just the smaller one. But looking out at the forecast, we keep threatening about all the surf that we have on tap. But there's going to be some good surf.
There's a shot of Ringrose over in Fiji, just between shifts as part of the Water Patrol team there.
There he is,
the guy charges. But he's come up against a man who's in career best form, Geordie Smith. He's already put together the second highest heat score total of the contest behind Felipe Toledo, 18.4. Just solid. And if the conditions remain like this for the rest of the contest, Geordie's going to be one of those guys that you'd think will be threatening when it's all going down on finals day.
Totally agree. You know, it's he's going to come up against some informed surfers, and I think that's where all of a sudden you're going to have to really take it to that next level. You know, we saw throughout this season already the surfers that have been able to do that in those later rounds.
Here goes Ringer on the inside without priority. Just enjoying one last ride here on the Bells Bowl on day 5 of competition at the Rip Curl Pro. The game plan for Ringer would have had to have been get yourself on the best waves. You know, that's your best opportunity to get some bigger turns done against a guy that lays down some of the deepest tracks on the championship tour. And he wasn't able to really stick to that plan. Geordie just got that rhythm early. Ringer had priority when one of the better waves rolled through. Geordie turned it into a 9-point plus ride. And Glendon, as a result, will be bundled out in the first heat of the second round. Geordie Smith, he marches on.
Well, you would have seen the bigger sets too this morning, and all of a sudden you start looking for something that may not be there in that 30-minute heat. Fun to watch, though. You know, his first round heat, and this one was good stuff there from Glendon.
A very dominant performance, executed with all the style in the world. Geordie Smith is marching on through, the 29-year-old looking sharp, and the top 3 are still alive in the third round as the boys make their way in here. The next big challenge will be for another of the top 10, Joel Parkinson, who is up against Samuel Pupo, the wild card here at the Rip Curl Pro. That'll go down in just a moment. back to the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach. Glendon Ringrose, a great surfer from Victoria, was just eliminated, but he's being chaired up the beach. Look at the boys there. It's pulling him apart like a barbecued chicken at a picnic. Fighting over the drumsticks.
That's just good, though. The support, unwavered by brother.
Yes, Glendon Ringrose, as we mentioned, bouncing back from cancer and making this championship tour event with a win in the trials against a very classy field. He is one of the greats from this part of the world. And he's buzzing. And obviously, as part of the Water Patrol team, those guys, you know, they pay such close attention to the competitors and keeping them safe, but also getting them back to the takeoff zone quickly in big heats. So well celebrated there.
He's like the unofficial kind of leader of that group, right? I mean, it's just he's at all the events. He's very soft-spoken, but leads by example. Great man.
A solid human indeed. But Geordie Smith just got the better of him in the first round. Now we're going to get set for another big challenge for a former three-time winner here, Joel Parkinson, going up against the wildcard Samuel Pupo. And I think Samuel Pupo will pose a little bit more of a threat than maybe Glendon did in the first heat for Parko. Even though Joel's got those big rail turns, Samuel Pupo has some real weapons. The airs might be taken out of the mix a little bit, Pete.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of kid that will be able to do airs in this type of conditions. I mean, Bells always has been one of those kinds of waves that the rail is really what you want to be able to. Wow, look at the speed carried through these two maneuvers. Joel looks sparked and ready. Already that looks much better from his performance in round one. And again, I think anytime you can put pressure on a wild card right out of the gates, that inexperience will show. You start to put that extra pressure there. We'll see, though, because Sammy, for a 16-year-old, is pretty darn mature. But look at this. This is that combo, right? Just the big arc. Again, extension right through it. The judges eat these moves up, too. Straight to the bottom, right back into the lip. Two different style maneuvers. And look at straight into another carve. Getting loose.
All those carves too. If you were sitting out the back, you're seeing the three fins out the back. Joel's got that rail set just so perfectly, just on the very highest point of those rides, that he's actually getting the fins above the wall of the wave and just pulling on that rail to get those turns back down onto the open face. It's pretty incredible.
If I were Sammy, I wouldn't be looking in. I would be paying attention to the horizon and making sure that you're going to get on that next best wave. The same thing for Sam here. He needs to be on the best waves if he wants to compete. He's a youngster, 16 years old. He is getting bigger, but there will be a pretty clear difference in the rail work from Parko and Sammy.
Joel just putting very little distance between himself and the wildcard out there at the takeoff zone. He opened with an 8.5 Parkinson. He is one of the greats here at Bells. Have seen him listed in the top 5 best all-time Bells Bowl surfers. Just has that rail game. He's able to hold those turns for such a long period of time. Let's see how the wildcard responds here. The teenager just getting some speed. Drives up into this section. Maintaining some flow down the line here. Needs a couple more big explosive turns. Wow. There's a nice gouge. Let's see what kind of finish he can add to this ride. Just keeping that board moving. Banking off that section. Some fireworks on the inside here would really help push that score a little higher, but he's going to go down there. Threw down some quality turns.
That was good. That was a good answer. And he did it on the rail. So like I said, this kid's very mature. He knows what he needs to do. He's visualized it, I'm sure, and now applied it. And he was on a good wave there. That was a good solid wave. Nice size set.
Well, just a massive weight difference. Semi Pupo really having to step into a different class here. Joel Parkinson, 6'0", 183 centimetres, 84 kilos. Almost 20 kilos heavier than the teenager.
But look at that. Beautiful long arc, connects with the lip, and then gets back to the open face for another beautiful snap. And that one laid over. He stayed smooth, didn't rush it here through this flat section. You know, the only real error, if anything, was the fall at the end. Shouldn't affect the score too much, but would have been really nice to see him complete this entire ride. You know, had he pulled that off, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, okay, could that have rivaled the 8.5? But he left a question mark. And see this turn here, perfectly placed. Great technique for such a youngster to have that kind of ability at 16 years old. It's very impressive.
Anytime you're dancing too, on the whitewater, riding out of those carving turns, you know the surfer has placed that move well, riding down back through the trough, kind of getting...
Look at the answer.
Getting in the mist there. 8.33. Okay. Semi Pupo getting some real credit from the judges there. I sometimes wonder if there's going to be a little more separation when you see that bigger surfer just holding that line a little bit longer as Joel did. Oh, sorry, it's a 7.33 there.
Oh, okay.
So Joel just getting an extra point there, but Semi had a 1 point ride earlier on. So Joel does get the nod for just having that extra size and length in his turns.
And I think sometimes too that fall at the end, it just applies that question mark to a score.
We definitely knew that Samuel was maybe going to challenge Joel a little more than Glendon challenged Geordie, because we mentioned just the weapons that he has. He's really well rounded. He wasn't provided with that steeper end section to kind of let go of something super dynamic there to, I guess, create a point of difference. But he's got those airs that he can go to. It's an offshore wind, but he's also got that grab rail reverse, which he can count on too. Much like his brother, Miguel, who's coming up a little later on in this contest. As we go back to live action, Joel Parkinson up again, surfing with a lot of speed out here this morning. And there is a huge man hack there from the veteran, surfing in his 17th year on the championship tour. And he's just looking for a little finish here on the inside. This section's pretty flat. Joel looks motivated as he banks it a couple of times. Not too many surfers look forward to bells like Joel Parkinson. This is one of his favourite stops on the championship tours. Some guys on the tour really find this place challenging and don't like the wave, but Joel absolutely loves it.
Well, it's a good memory. I mean, when he came here as a new pro, he had great success. So you're going to hold on to that. You know, that feeling that you got when you were a first-time winner of a bell, like, it's something that you'll hold on to forever because, obviously, the legacy of this event. But I think that also he shines here. You know, as you can see right here on this wave, you know, he loves it. You know, his style of surfing fits this wave. Beautiful arc there. I mean, that was carving through that steep section. Again, accelerating through it. And I think that's the real difference from the guys that you can see here that have great success and look appealing, is that they'll accelerate through their turns rather than decelerating. Joel is able to move faster through the maneuver.
Haven't seen him looking this fired up too in a long time. I loved after his first heat on the Gold Coast, he said, yeah, I'm here, I'm going for the world title. And we haven't really heard statements like that from Joel the past few years. Have a look at this turn.
Well, and you see where that carve started. It was literally on the very top edge of the lip. So that's committed because you're putting it all on the line with a ton of speed, so high in the lip that, you know, and again, accelerating through it because you can easily push yourself out the back if you didn't place it properly. And he's done that. I mean, and that's that experience out here. He's in confidence in his boards and in his equipment.
I think too, he had a single turn in that last ride, his second wave, that was probably his best turn yet. So an 8.5 on his first, and waiting for the numbers to come through for this second wave. Joel's going to move into the lead by a pretty solid margin, you'd think. Waiting for the number to come through. 17 minutes to go. Let's hear from Glendon Ringrose, the wild card eliminated in the first heat of round 2 with Barton Lynch.
Glendon Ringrose, mate, tell us about that heat. The result wasn't what you wanted, but obviously crowd favourite, mate, and good vibes all round.
Yeah, you know, you go out there, you give it your best. You know, they're obviously the best in the world. You know, so you just got to, you know, give it a go and just pray that you can actually get some waves and do some turns and put it against them. You know, but obviously Geordie's he's super strong and super big and got lots of power and you know, like being out of the system for a long time, it's actually I've watched a lot of it. I've mentally surfed a lot of heats, but to actually be out in a heat and compete against these guys is just incredible, really. You know, it's an absolute honour to do it. You know, it's amazing that I even got the opportunity to do that. You know, so yeah, I'm so blessed.
Well, you earned that honour, mate, winning the trials. That was a pretty wild and woolly day in the trials.
Oh yeah, it was big, it was lumpy, it was really full on southwest, you know, like, and there was just lumps coming out of the ocean, and I just sort of read the situation and read the waves, and I just sort of sat in the one spot and I sort of had my little line up and let all the other guys, they all paddled deep, they all paddled all over the place, and I just waited until the right wave came, and I was blessed with a good one. You know?
The experience and maturity, mate. We know you've just overcome testicular cancer very recently, mate. So that obviously was traumatic when you found out, and you bounced back in the best possible way, though.
Yeah. Like I was sitting on the Australian Junior series at Phillip Island, Aussie title actually, and I felt a bit tender, and my testes started swelling up, and I was like, oh, well, this isn't real good, and it ended up, you know, full on cancer. So, but luckily with your testicles, when they operate and take it out, it's contained usually within it. So now all I have to do is, you know, regular surveillance and blood tests, and really that gave me a real think of, hang on, life is more than just this. You know, like you can live, you can die, and that's it. So, you know, that spurred me on a little bit to actually really try hard and give it a good go. You know, look, here I am, 44, and I've had the opportunity at surfing with, you know, crew that could be my kids. But you know, it's just such an honour, you know, and a great opportunity. And yes, definitely the cancer thing did spur me on, and I encourage anyone to actually, you know, if you have any issues, don't be ashamed. Go ahead and get tested for it and check it out. Go see doctors, you know, because life is worth living. You know, it's so much more worth living than giving up and letting go.
Well, an inspirational performance, mate. We know the crowd love you because we saw them cheer you up the beach, mate. So congratulations on the effort and the result. Great week for you, and stoked to have you with us.
Thank you. I better go back to work now and sit on the ski and help the boys down there. You know, they're a great bunch of guys. They looked after me, and we look after each other. We work together as a team, you know. And I've been blessed to be able to do quite a few events. You know, I do Cricket Pro and this one and Fiji. So, and I get to hang out with all these guys, and they all sort of know me. So it's a good thing to still be in touch with the whole system. And yeah, thank you.
Glendon Ringrose, winner regardless of the result. Well done, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Barton. And Ring Up.
That was sick.
A very popular character, and some good advice there. You know, he actually said to me, you know, blokes are typically pretty bad at looking after themselves and getting those things checked out. You know, there's actually always sort of a she'll be right attitude that
she'll be right
men have.
Yeah.
And
everything will be fine.
Glendon, luckily his wife actually really pushed him to get sorted out and
go get it taken care of.
He lives to surf another day.
So awesome.
Let's see what's unfolding out here in the lineup. Joel Parkinson, he had a 7.7 on his previous wave. Thought it might go a little higher, but that gives Sammy Pupo an opportunity to stay on track.
Well, you can see this kid has a bright future. 16 years old, and he is surfing so well. You know, that was a little mistimed, but, you know, his asset here, I think, that he can bring to this heat is that flare, that little drifting move he did on that first section. Pretty awesome. You know, and again, I think, you know, we were saying how he was going to push Parko, and he's done that. I mean, this is some great surfing from him. Just the couple falls at the ends of their rides affecting slightly. But I mean, if Joel were having issues here, it would be a great performance from Sammy. But Joel's putting it all on the line and surfing really well.
Traveling with the family to Bells Beach. Joel's got to wrap this heat up and then get back to town for the Easter egg hunt.
So
doing a good job so far.
Did he get the Easter Bunny to get it there early, hide all the eggs?
That's it, Pete. You know the drill. 11.5 minutes to go here. Looks like we've got some lines approaching. Priority is with the 2012 world champion. And now that he's got this lead, Pete, I'm pretty excited for what's to come here.
It's that anticipation. You know, it even gets the blood pumping in here.
Here we go, Samuel Pupo on the inside. Just start loading up on speed. But just gets that first turn wrong. He's going to kick out. Just behind him, Joel Parkinson just caught a little inside there.
You know, it's crazy is that, you know, we're up high, obviously, and we have the camera angles and we can look, but it is hard to see those set waves coming. You know that they're there, but you don't know the size because they're so defined because of the wind that you feel like, okay, I'm in the right spot. And then all of a sudden, you see how quickly he had to react. He didn't even know that set wave was going to be as big as it was. And, you know, again, it was just a little bit too big outside of the bowl with the lower tide. So no real, actually, in that set, there wasn't really even a quality wave. And that's what Bells will do, you know?
Just under 10.5 minutes to go. Joel Parkinson has priority and a solid lead. And Sammy Pupo is chasing an 8.87. We'll see if he can get it after the break. Happy Easter looking back at three-time winner Joel Parkinson's big finishes here at Bells Beach. 2004 was the year he got his first victory, and then 06, it was a sizey year. Kelly Slater won this year, but Joel had some classy moments. Slater was just in a different realm though through that contest. And then 2009, that silky style, Joel had one of the best starts to a championship tour year that season, including a victory over his mate Mick Fanning here that season. And unfortunately for Joel, Mick tracked him down. Oh, sorry, it was against Adam Robertson. They had a good semi-final battle in a big year here, didn't they? As we look back at the top bell ringers, as you can see, Fanning, Slater, Richards, the greatest on the Bells Bowl over the years. But quite a few multiple event winners down here.
12-year span that we just saw right there, and it looks like it's the same Joel in the water, like almost a better version of it. I mean, that is just incredible to see how good and consistent he's been.
And here he goes again, live action now. Just flowing, setting up a barrel here. Can he come through this one, trying to punch through the curtain? He gets the exit, the crowd eats it up. And Joel still has plenty of speed to roll through. This inside gets a little hung up and he gets out of there. Doubt that's going to go into his top two, but a beautiful flowing start to that ride.
It would have felt so good to go as fast as he was going. That's the thing too about bells, is that it's this really unique speed that you can go really fast and execute your turns with all that speed. I think that's why Joel loves it so much. You see the nice size set wave, one of the bigger set wave we've seen. But just that setup is so nice. That timing gets him right here. Look, he sees there's going to be a little barrel opportunity with that offshore breeze. And of course, he's going to make it through. You know, he wanted to do something big here, but he carries a bunch of speed. He's like, okay, where's that section at? Yeah, it's kind of threw it away at the end, but looks like he's having a ball.
Loving life.
You see that carve, he cuts it short, sees this section here, lays into it. That's the style. That feels so good, then sets up this barrel. See how he shifts his weight up front, puts all of it over the wide point of the board, allows him to be stable, knowing that it'd probably be one of these situations where you're gonna have to punch through it. Comes out, stays with it. Joel Parkinson, fun to watch. He actually did go into his top 2.
Well, there you go, 8.07. So getting some payoff for the barrel ride, and we've seen some reward for that. Early on in the first round, Kanoe Igarashi had a 6-point ride for just the tube. So Joel's threading a couple of turns in there as well.
We saw it over Winky too. With Felipe, with his air reverse in the barrel.
That's right. 8.07. So Joel ups the ante a little bit. Much like Jordy Smith in the first heat, every wave he's taken off on is converted into a pretty solid score. Counting an 8.5 and an 8.07 is the best of them at the moment. And Sammy Pupo is now chasing a 9.24. Sammy out there riding his dad's boards. Wagner, a former competitor himself. Got his first custom when he was 6 years of age. And obviously, his older brother Miguel is his hero. Sebastian Zeitz getting set to do battle in his round 2 heat. What a matchup this is. Sebastian getting an event win in 2016. Leonardo, he had some real success too over in Margaret River, the same event that Sebastian won. He had the quarterfinals. And in each of his appearances as a wild card last year, Pete, Leonardo managed to get past the 3rd round. As a full-time competitor, as a rookie this season, he hasn't been out of the 2nd round.
Well, he's guilty of allowing that to get to his head. I mean, it's a different mindset when you're now trying to qualify in the championship tour, whereas your opportunities before were nothing to lose. And it just goes to show that he's going to have to, you know, understand that this is where he's wanted to be and find that type of mentality that he had when he was surfing as a wild card and apply it, you know, during his full-time bout here on the championship tour.
Well, he is the first Italian to make the grade on the championship tour, representing the country so well, and he'll be considered the greatest
Italian ever on a surfboard?
I think so. I think he's destined to bounce back at some stage through this season. Such a solid competitor, has a lot of confidence, just has to shake off the nerves that have plagued him through the first 2 events of the season. Just under 4 minutes to go here, Pete. Let's hear from the winner of Heat 1, Round 2, Jordy Smith with Barton Lynch.
Jordy Smith, well, that started Easter Sunday just the way you wanted.
Absolutely. First of all, happy Easter to you, Barton, and to my family and my beautiful wife. I hope you guys have a great day, and couldn't have asked for a better way to wake up and have Easter, that's for sure. I mean, 4 to 5 feet bells, perfect offshore, and one of the best parts about it is it's really, really consistent, and so you just get those opportunities. I just surfed with Mr. Ringrose. It was awesome. He surfed really well yesterday, and I take my hat off to him because he drives us around and sits on that freezing cold ski all day. So it was really fun to have a heat with him.
And tell us about the conditions, clean, glassy, and your approach to them was powerhouse.
Yeah, after, obviously the conditions are incredible. It's really clean, and so that light offshores just makes the face really nice and smooth. For me, I was just trying to figure out what the judges really wanted to score. After my first wave, I think I got a 7 or something, and then I was like, okay, well, if I can get in a high 7, that should be good. And then, I just started to kind of build from there, and then trying to figure out a few different approaches and seeing what kind of they like best. And so, just try and keep that in mind for the next heats.
And we know at Margaret River your surfing was incredible, and I suppose in the against Kolohe it was the wave selection that let you down. Learned from that?
Absolutely, and I kind of just let that one be what it was, and each event is their own little deal. So thinking back on that heat, I think Kolohe just got super barreled, and at that point, I think you just got to match fire with fire. You got to get barreled to be able to compete with those kind of things, and in those situations. And so out here over Bells, it's a different story. There's not too many barrels out there, so I'm just going to try and turn as hard as I can, and hopefully they like it.
The reality is not many people have the firepower you have, mate. So matching it with you is going to be a tough one for anyone. Congratulations on that performance, mate, and look forward to more of it.
Thanks, Martin.
Cheers, Barton. Geordie Smith looking really sharp, giving Glendon Ringrose the respect he deserves, calling him Mr. Ringrose.
Very nice.
Very nice. But a minute and a half remaining in this heat in the water. Looks good, Geordie, doesn't he?
He does. He's looked good all year.
Earning his chocolates today with a solid performance there. Great numbers. And more highlight moments to come from Geordie, you'd think, moving forward. Joel Parkinson on a tear out here at the moment. 3 waves, an 8.5, 7.7, and an 8.07. So getting some real payoff for that barrel ride, even though he was incomplete on that wave.
I mean, if you're going to compare the 7.7 to the 8.07, I kind of like the 7.7 better. Mainly because of that maneuver that we had touched on. And
I agree. Love it. Just there was commitment in that ride. Punching through the curtain in a little barrel, he was deep, but wasn't like a big open gaping pit. 40 seconds to go here. Joel Parkinson looks like he's going to be making his way through to the third round. And we know after that first round heat, Joel said the cold kind of had an effect on that scar. He chopped his foot really badly at Snapper Rocks many seasons back, and sometimes that scar goes a little numb when the conditions are cold. No dramas for him out there this morning though. A healthy heat score total, and Sammy Pupo, the 16-year-old, can hold his head up higher, 7.33, but he was left chasing a 9.24 in the later stages of that second round effort. As the boys make their way in though, Sammy Pupo is going to show us some fireworks there. Nice little turn. Joel getting the point of view. Happy to let the Grom take it away on the inside. Well, that was good fun, Pete. A good start to the day.
it sure was. Performance by the red jerseys, far and above, which is kind of what we expected. But I love the performances both by Parko and Geordie there.
The top 12 seeds are still in the mix here at the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach. See you in a couple of heats, Pete. We'll bring in Kaipo and Potts for the call right after the break.
Another wondrous day here at Bells Beach for the Rip Curl Pro Day number 3. Kaipo Girl, along with 89 World Champ, 89 Bells Champ, Martin Potter for the call and Potts.
Yep.
What, I know you were excited when you first saw the waves today.
Absolutely.
And it's been all up to our expectations so far. 2 great heats in the morning.
2 great heats. I mean, 2 of the best of all time, really, in my eyes, here at Bells Beach. Obviously, Geordie Smith and Joel Parkinson just absolutely attacking it. And, you know, credit to Glendon Ringrose and Sammy Pupo. They put on a valiant fight, but not to be. Another great heat in the water at the moment. Sebastian Zietz up against the Italian stallion, Leonardo Fioravanti. But Bells Beach, I mean, this is what we come here for. These nice, crisp, chilly mornings. This nice, strong offshore winds and just absolute perfection out there. This groomed lineup and even a couple of barrels on offer, Kaipo.
Yeah, we saw that in the last heat with Joel Parkinson sniffing out a barrel and doing a good job. First couple of heats this morning, the red jerseys convincing with their wins.
No surprise.
This heat, well, I know, but this heat, Potts, I'm feeling that's going to be a little bit more evenly matched with Sebastian Zietz and Leonardo Fioravanti. But since we're talking about surfing scores and order, we have our head judge, Richie Porta, on the line to go over today's criteria.
Morning, gents. How are you?
Very good. Richie, how about yourself?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So we're talking about turns versus barrels. Already this morning, we had some of that illustrated in that last heat with Joel Parkinson. We would like to get the judges' tower's take on that.
Yeah, that was a great wave, like it was a combo. So I tell you guys all the time, we're chasing combos, and hang on, we'll just watch this wave right now and watch blue, and I'll be back to you in a sec.
Thanks, Richie. Of course, we're going to let the judges concentrate 100%. And Fioravanti, the rookie, going a little too hard on that first turn, goes incomplete. Rich, to continue the conversation on the barrel versus turns.
Okay, so with the barrels out here, they're not like heaving long barrels. They are sort of, they're nice barrels, and the score reflects that. But as the tide keeps dropping out, if the sets keep coming in, we'll see a few better ones, I hope. It does happen here when we get this nice clean offshore, and it's all about the depth of the barrel and the size of it out here and where they're on the barrel. But with the turns, you saw with both Geordie and Joel, it's that ability to hold your rail through the complete turn. Plus, with the wave that it's stacked up out there now, you get a little bit of variety in there, and that's where those scores were coming from. So it's blue again.
And here we go, back to live action. Fioravanti on his second swing. That's a little bit better for his first turn. Comes around in a beautiful arc, just as Richie was saying, holding the rail throughout that entire turn. Now building up some momentum, a little bit of a sleepy section. So this is kind of the cutback section, and leading up to a finish where the wave is going to steepen off. Fioravanti eyeing up a finish, banks off the whitewater, building some speed down the line, looking for that exclamation point at the finish, and gets it for the kick out. So well surfed wave. Richie, your opinion? We're going back to scores being a combination actually of barrels and turns. Yeah, well, we'll be back with Richie a little bit later. He's obviously back with the panel to discuss and score the waves. Martin, your take on it?
Well, it is a combination. I mean, you look at that wave just before Leo took off on his one. You know, Joel did a couple of searing maneuvers before that tube ride. And, you know, in my eyes, the Bells Beach barrel, it's a lot more technical. It's not a big, wide open tube. You don't just stand there and sort of get spat out. You have to weave, you have to duck. It's a lot higher line that you have to take. And then a lot of the time, it sort of compresses right at the end, and you have to fight your way out. So a little bit more technical, and I guess that's why that score came into the excellent range, due to the combination of maneuvers before the tube, which made that tube a lot more functional. So good judging there, and obviously Leo's last ride as well, a lot better than his first one. We saw Leo yesterday sort of maybe a little bit too amped up, fell off quite a bit, so has maybe sort of pull that back a little bit, which he did on that second wave, and we're seeing a good wave from him, just about to get locked in.
Fioravanti, 19 years old, out of Rome, Italy, first Italian on the championship tour, but really a citizen of the world. Started traveling at a very, very young age, and we're going to take another look at this wave, Potts.
Yeah, just a little backup. So he wanted to iron out those creases, you know, fell off on the first wave, Second wave, a lot better, a little bit more conviction. Just holding back a little bit, not going for those big snaps under the lip. A very difficult maneuver to perform here at Bells Beach due to the fact the wave is a little slopier, and Leo milking this one through. So gets a good score on the board, waiting for that score to drop now, and it is going to be in that mid to sort of high range good score as he brings this one through and finishes nicely on his feet, Kaipo. And a good score for him. Seabass right behind, just wants to answer back to Leo Fioravanti's wave, doesn't want to let him get too far ahead. A couple of beautiful turns right there from Seabass, and then gets caught behind the section. So just a small score for him, a 4.23. That should be gone by the end of this heat. But Leo, that is definitely a good keeper.
Yeah, the deposit into the score bank for Leo Fioravanti, a 7.5 for wave number 2. And as Pot said, a 4.23 for the opener for Sebastian Zietz. Priority now with Zietz, as you can see on the graphic, the P in the bread box by Sebastian's name. He's going to have first choice of waves coming through, and the lines continue to formulate here at Bells. Crisp, it's Sunday here, a crisp Easter morning, and conditions impeccable, Pots.
Absolutely impeccable, Kaipo. This is exactly what we come to Bells Beach for. This is classic Bells, and fingers crossed. I mean, the surf forecast looks really promising. Looks like we've got plenty of swell on offer coming up in the next few days. Conditions are going to remain the same, so the question remains, though, is it going to be enough swell for us to go through the high tide? There is a question mark there, and if not, well, we've got Winky Pop on offer like we did yesterday, so we could have half the day here, half the day at Winky Pop, and maximise this perfect day. Sunshine, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everyone out there. Hope the Easter Bunny came to your house and dropped off the eggs.
We had the eggs early this morning. We woke up in the dark, and there were already a couple of them that I could see.
It's the only day,
easy hidden one.
It's the only day you can have chocolate for breakfast, right?
There's been a lot of chocolate around here, too.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the staff actually traveling with families, so we have a lot of the kids around enjoying this Easter Sunday. And, of course, 56 years here at the Rip Curl Pro, and the community here just coming out in droves. Just early in the morning. We're only on heat number 3. Parking lots filling up.
Full.
Yeah. People are just shoulder to shoulder. And what else would you want to do on Easter Sunday if you live here in Torquay? It's a tradition.
It is. It's absolute tradition. And that's why some years, Easter falls on different days every year. So last year, Bells Beach was before Margaret River. This year, it's after Margaret River. I kind of prefer it after Margaret's, because the later in the season, the better it is for Bells Beach, the better it is for waves down here in Victoria. And we're actually sampling some of that. I mean, look at it. Sun's starting to pop out. Beautiful conditions here. And you always know it's going to be good on offshore when it's got that nice crisp feeling in the morning. I've got my gloves on. Oh. It's chilly.
I'm jealous. Thin Hawaiian blood doesn't do very well here. This guy, he's got some Hawaiian blood flowing through his veins as well. And a couple of nice cutties for Seabass, Sebastian Zietz from Kilauea on the island of Kauai. But again, getting a little bit caught behind, so that's going to limit some of the scoring potential. He's going to want to make it up at the end of this wave. Nice flow, but finishes it. That's going to be a score, but probably not exactly what Seabass would have wanted.
No, there was that one section that kind of got away from him, didn't it? And you've got to try and capitalize on that. Seabass looking sharp, though, that's for sure. The maneuvers that he has performed on that wave will be scored, and using his priority on this occasion. Let's have a look as he double pumps off the bottom. Nice tight snap. I like the way Seabass gets that board out the back of the wave, mixing it up with a down carve, and then right here kind of connects with the lip, but doesn't get that projection and sort of misses that section right there. Manages to get around and still tries to milk it all the way through the inside. So it's going to be better than his 4.23, just extending his situation. Could quite possibly take the lead. He's only looking for a 4.15, so I think he's going to get the lead off Leo Fioravanti, but really looking for those excellent scores. Just touching the rail a little bit and then gets that extension of the body, then compresses again. You can see how nice and low he gets. Holds that nice low center of gravity and then pumps off the bottom, sort of almost spring-loaded. As Seabass stays nice and low, you can see that board on the rail. And this is maybe maybe the wrong choice of turns right here. Maybe went a little bit too vertical, maybe needed a bit more projection down the line, Kaipo, and he would have got around that section a lot quicker. So it is early in the morning. It is going to be a good score. It's going to be a keeper, and he's going to extend. Well, he's going to get himself into the lead and put a little bit of pressure on Leo Fioravanti, but the judges loved that last wave from Seabass. From start to finish, maybe a little bit in the middle there that he missed, but nonetheless, a great score.
Wow. Well, it went up into the excellent range you can see in the graphic. 8.33 for Sebastian Zietz. So he was on his way to a 9+ ride without that sleepy section in the middle, but the judges really impressed with the rail work by Seabass and rewarded him for that.
You know, just to get around that section again, I suppose, was critical. You know, 2 massive turns and then up over that section. I mean, we've been critical on him here, but you know, we know what he surfs like, don't we? We've seen him absolutely tear waves to pieces, and we're looking for a little bit more from him.
Well, Seabass, 5th year on the championship tour, fell off of the tour in 2015, got the call up as an injury replacement in 2016, and made really, really good work of that, finishing the year off 12th and requalified for this year, and hence we see more of Bass.
His maiden victory last year at Margaret River. Took down Julian Wilson in the final. Incredible stuff from Sebastian Zietz. And he's, well, and once you've won an event, Kaipo, it's that sense of belonging, you know, it's that sense of belief that, hey, I can do this. And he's gone from strength to strength. He's, you know, I think he's going to be around for a very long time. I think his surfing is well and truly relevant on tour. He charges in big waves. He's good in the barrel, both front side and backside. He's got the air game. He's powerful. He's got that rail game as well. So, you know, you look at all those factors, you put them all into a package, and you've got an amazing surfer.
That's right. And he's already performed this year, giving us a 10-point ride over at North Point at stop number 2 on the championship tour, with just an incredible barrel to cap off the day. Let's check it out.
I think the commentary was 10 points as well from Peter Mill.
Sure are. Great to have him on the commentary team. As we see Sebastian Zietz locked in so deep.
Oh, he's still there. He's still there. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Pete Mel's got 10.
Sorry. I am sorry, folks at home.
2 thumbs up.
It is really rare to hear the Condor squeal like that. That was a squeal of excitement.
It's in already.
Oh, no, well, come on.
That was a squeal from a 12-year-old schoolgirl that just scored her first goal. But no, that was just sheer excitement, wasn't it?
Sure.
I mean, that was, you know, it was an unbelievable day of surfing. We didn't see anything close to that through the entire day. That was the last wave of the last heat of the day, and you know, we'd been up super early, and the boys just got super excited, and so did Seabass, by the way. First 10-point ride that day. Well worth it, definitely.
Oh, we all do. Of course, we're all surfers first, but we're also some of the biggest surf fans in the entire world.
You got that right.
Just to be able to do this, it has been, we're just thrilled. And moments like that, we can all share.
Yep.
Well, I'm a fan of this guy, Joel Parkinson. He's down with Barton Lynch.
Joel Parkinson, first heat ever in round 2, they tell us, at Bells Beach, and at least you got the win, mate.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like that stat yesterday. So, I don't know. I don't think it happened at Wiki Pop, so maybe I still hold it at Bells. So I'm not too sure, but yeah, that's old news, that one now.
Good heat though, overall. Happy with how you did?
Yeah, it was such a great heat. It was really fun. Like you forget, like, we were thinking about Wiki Pop this morning, but you forget how good a wave Bells is. You know, it's when it's like offshore like that in a 4-foot wave, it's the most nicest canvas, and you get like jittery. You know what I mean? You just come, you know it's coming. You can see it come around the corner, and it's a really you get that feeling. The only other place I find I get it is like J-Bay. You know, you see it coming down the line. Your nervous energies like bubbles through you, and you're just frothing to see what that wall does. And when it hits a reef rod, it's an awesome wave.
And you were expecting some jet ski assist, you were telling us?
I didn't know. I thought it was 35 minutes in jet ski assist. There were 30 minutes of paddling. I got off my first wave, and I'm like, Ringer, like, where are you? And it was the wrong. Started sitting up like, you guys, where's the skis? It broken, and then I heard it's no jet ski assist. I was like, oh shit, get some paddling.
Tell us, mate, you've got the highest heat winning percentage of any surfer here at Bells Beach. 77.61% of the time you're winning. Why is that, do you think? What is the relationship that gives you that advantage?
I'm not too sure, you know. got a I guess I'm suited to the wave, but also, I've got a strategy, and it just, I haven't really changed it since the day that I turned up and the first time I surfed it. I don't think it. There's a winning formula to it. I mean, it still can be easily beaten, if you're not on your game. But if I'm on my game and the strategy works, and that's I guess where you see the result go.
Yeah, they're not getting you if it goes to plan, mate. Congratulations, great performance, and looking forward to seeing you all week.
Yeah, cheers, and happy Easter to all my friends and family at home. Love you guys. Cheers.
Thanks, BL. Congratulations to Joel and Leo Fioravanti up and riding. Beautiful projection lip glide. Carves holding the rail through that turn number 2. Another big carve from the Italian surfer. Keeping his board going, keeping momentum. Chalking up some points here. Looking for a big finish. And does so. Whips through the lip. You can hear the applause from the beach pots. What do you think about that one?
Well, I think he's got the lead back, that's for sure. 5.07 required from Leo Fioravanti. I like that. I like the just the energy that he carried through that wave, the go for it attitude. This kid never pulls back, does he? And that's what we like about these rookies this year. They are dangerous. I mean, these guys are well-tuned, finely tuned athletes, and let's have a look as he just pumps that board. You can see the energy that he carries through his maneuvers. It's 100%. I mean, pedal to the metal from the Italian stallion, Leonardo Fioravanti. Definitely going to get that lead back, and that's what he's got to do. Just keep applying the pressure on Sebastian Zietz. Just keep flip-flopping that lead and making, Sebastian Zietz earn this win. Nice turn there. You can see that back ankle is strapped, so obviously a bit of an issue with the ankle, but it doesn't look like it's hindering him at all. Beautiful turn right there. Opens the shoulders and just jams it at the end. A lot of these guys have got that turn, haven't they? We've seen it from Geordie this morning. We've seen it from Joel. And now we're seeing it from Leo Fioravanti. It's just that beautiful swooping maneuver, and that canvas that Joel was talking about just allows you those beautiful swooping maneuvers. It just looks so good, and that is just classic Bell surfing. That's what's going to score every single day of the week.
And really mature surfing from the 19-year-old Leo Fioravanti, but he is beyond his years just because he started traveling and hanging around with pro surfers at such a young age. We saw it coming. But as a contrast to his 2016, where he was really dominant in the qualifying series at the beginning of the year through the Australian leg, as well as had a great finish in Margaret River last year, this year, as a championship tour surfer, has yet to come through this round number 2, 2/25ths in the first 2 events of the year. So this is a really important one for Leo to come through. Just locked in his score, an 8.17, and now Leo has the lead over Seabass. But let's hear a little bit about some of the equipment that Leo's riding. Christian Bradley is with Strider Wazalewski.
Thanks, Kaipo. Yeah, down here with Christian. So Bradley surfboards, you've got some great boards under Leo's feet. What have you guys been working on?
Mainly just working on his rockers that have come from 2016 up to what he's riding now. So volumes, a little bit of length. We went up a little bit in length. The size out here now, he's just on his normal 5'11.5, and kind of I don't know, I thought he might have rode a little bit of a flatter rocker out here on the tail, but he's just picked his normal one that he was riding in Portugal. He's testing out at the start of the year, so it's going good. I think a bit thicker rail, so it's probably better for down here in the cold water.
Last year he did really well against a lot of big-name surfers. Having confidence and a good board under your feet's got to help.
Oh yeah, confidence is everything, and maybe it's not so much the board, but just being confident in what you're doing and getting out there and knowing you're going to win, I think, and being able to win. And he's already done that this year, but I don't know, he's had a rough start, this year to getting going. And it's kind of being confident. And I don't know, he's a rookie, so make mistakes. He's been ripping in the free surfs, and I was watching some footage and I was going, why can't you do that when you're out in the water? But yeah, he's surfing good.
Well, right now we got Seabass. Nice sweep off the top right there, looking for a big score. Another hack again. Beautiful turn up in the bowl. Nice, beautiful rail line work right there. And out behind him, we got more wave action. So Seabass is going to fish this one off. Leo really turning it up as well. So, wow, big layback snap. These boys are going for it. Leo a little late to the party right there. Good surfing, though. surfing through the inside corner. Let's see if he can finish off well. As Leo trying to stamp it in. So back to the surfboard talk. Do you guys do a lot of work together as a team, or does he just leave it to you guys as a shaper?
Leo has a lot of input into what's feeling good, and like he'll have one board that feels good somewhere, and then we make a series of those ones, and because every board's kind of different, even though you're doing the exact same board, one's going to go better than the other, so you just try and continue on that one board for there, and then I'll throw in one or two that's slightly different, and then if that goes good, we follow that direction for a bit. So it's just a progressive thing that you do with the guy, and it's good working close with someone because you can actually go continue what you're meant to be doing.
You guys have had a long relationship, huh? How long have you guys been working together?
Probably 5 years, 6 years now. Yeah, 5 years maybe.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for the words, and we'll see you soon, and good luck to your horse out in the water.
Yeah, thanks, Strider. Go, Leo.
Thanks, Waz. And Potts, let's take another look at this wave from Leo Fioravanti.
Yeah, second wave of the set. Sebastian Zietz with priority took the first one, Leo on the back. And is he going to make Sebastian pay for that mistake as Leo just goes to town on this one? 3 solid turns already. Nice variety, nice flow. A little bit of pizzazz as well. I love that little layback snap under the lip. He was trying that all day yesterday and finally pulls one off here this morning. Finishes strong at the end of that wave, so that's going to better his 7.50. Sebastian Zietz on the first wave, looking to improve on a 4.23. Utilizing his priority, beautiful style that we love from Seabass. Connecting well on that lip right there. And again, another swooping maneuver. I think that swooping turn is the order of the day here for these front-siders. We're yet to see the goofy footers really hit the lineup this morning. So that front side, just that beautiful arcing maneuver is scoring well. And all these guys are sort of going to that turn. So Sebastian Zietz definitely going to improve his situation. As is Leo Fioravanti, a little bit of a mistake right there. That's a leg burner as Sebastian makes his way back out into the lineup. So down to the 5-minute mark, it's going to be an interesting exchange, a very important exchange, Kaipo, because I think Leo's going to improve his situation, as is Seabass. By how much, that is going to be the question.
Yeah, a lot of math to do for the judges, and we're going to be on standby for those scores, and we'll have a situation update on exactly what the standings is. Our fantasy surf stats, 17% of you playing fantasy surf picked Sebastian Zietz on your team. 21% of you out there playing fantasy picked the rookie, Leo Fioravanti, on your team. So really interesting to see what the surf fans are doing as far as putting together their teams. Remember, you can put your team together at worldsurfleague.com. Play fantasy surf today.
Have a look at those scores from Sebastian Zietz. His best wave yet, Kaipo.
Drops an 8.6 to take the lead over Leo Fioravanti. However, the judges owe us a score for last of Leo Fioravanti in the blue jersey. Leo now looking for an 8.76 or better to take the lead again away from Seabass.
Ooh.
And it comes in just under at an 8.67.
Wow, bit of a spread too. 2-9, like two judges dropped 9s. There was an 8-1, an 8.8, and an 8.2. So a mixed bag of scores there for Leo Fioravanti. An 8.67, just under the requirement. So back to the drawing board for the young Italian. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Looking for an 8.26 now to try and get that lead. So what a heat we've got on our hands. Both these guys going at it. And that last ride, Leo got the nod by 0.07 on that exchange. So I thought it might have been a little bit more of a spread on that last wave, just due to the size of the wave for Leo. A little bit more open face, but it is a close heat nonetheless.
You can see the look on Leo's face, a little bit disheartening, because he really is back to the drawing board. Because even though that was a great wave and an excellent score, he still needs an 8.26, and he's only got 2 minutes 45 seconds to come up with that.
Yeah.
It's a tall order, Potts.
It is a tall order, but it is Bells Beach. It is there are beautiful waves coming through, but normally you can see those lines approaching, Kaipo, and at the moment it's kind of looking a little sort of, I don't know, it's a little slow at the moment. Obviously, if you look up around towards centre side, it's kind of a little bit of an indication on if there's waves coming or not. Well, and as Joel said, you get those nervous butterflies when you see those waves coming, and as you look now, there's not much happening around the corner there. If there was some sets bombing around the corner, you'd know within a matter of 20 to 30 seconds time, then it swings into Bells Beach.
That's right. The set indicator up there at center side. I mean, I guess the one bright thing for Leo Fioravanti is that he does have first priority, so he's going to get first choice if that set materializes, but we're down to 1 minute and 50 seconds. Anxious times.
Anxious times, and to lose with a couple of eights, that's going to be a tough one to swallow. I mean, he's already on the back of 225th, so to leave the Australian leg without a heat win, that's going to be pretty devastating for young Leo. But looks like a little bit of motion in the ocean right now. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Sebastian Zietz starting to make a move. Leo Fioravanti, nerves of steel, is going to let that one go. There's maybe one more behind it. Here goes Seabass.
Sebastian Zietz, our heat leader, working his way down the line, setting up for his opening. Looked like he was going for a little nose pick right there, but just goes incomplete. So now a minute remaining. Doors cracked a little wider open for Leo Fioravanti, but the ocean, Bells Beach, needs to show the Italians some love right now.
I don't think it's going to. No loss there for Sebastian Zietz, second priority, so he's got the lead. So no real mistakes there for him. Kind of had to go for it if he was going to try and better his situation. But Leo is going to watch this 30 seconds go by, and he's looking for an excellent score of an 8.26. Just starts to move up the point, but I don't think anything's going to happen within the next 20 seconds, Skypo.
That's right. And Potts, looking at the long year ahead, another 25th would put a 25th in Leo's end of the year math. Of course, we take the top 9 results from 11 events here on the World Surf League. He's already got 2 25ths, and that means he's going to be counting a 25th in his final year math for his ranking. So tough lesson for the rookie. Meanwhile, Sebastian Zietz, the happy Kauaian, is going to be moving on to round number 3. And we're going to see more of Seabass. Coming up next, we got a power surfer in Connor Coffin and another power surfer in Zeke Lau. Stick around for more of the Rip Curl Pro. We'll be right back. Curl Pro here Easter Sunday at Bells Beach. We're into Heat 4, round number 2, and it is a battle of two power surfers in Connor Coffin versus Ezekiel Lau. Kaipuguro along with Martin Potter for the call. Potts, this is going to be a good one.
Yes, it is. This is going to be a great heat from these two guys. As we can see, Zeke Lau had the inside, but Connor taking the first wave.
Connor Coffin speeding down the line. He's used to these cold water point breaks, hailing from Santa Barbara, California. Gaffs a turn, continues a down the line momentum, double pump bottom turn, and swoops that Connor Coffin carve that we see over and over again. This guy is excellent on his rail game and surfing kicks out, and it looked like he had a bit of confidence and attitude with that punch out.
Could we say maybe a little bit of mistake there from Zeke not to try and get that wave and hold Connor off, because that was a screamer. I mean, that was way up the point. These guys obviously pushed each other further up towards Rincon, and Connor just high line, just absolute speed right there. You can see Zeke giving up on it, and Connor said, you know what, give it to me. Let's see what we've got. As he stays high on the wave, keeps as much speed as possible. Now he draws down the line. Bit of a jam right there just to keep it going. Now this is where he starts scoring, right here. Huge carving maneuver. Perfect position right there from Connor. And again, back-to-back solid turns. And now it starts to slow up, and it just allows him to really tag this wave all the way through the inside. Amazing stuff. What a well-read wave right there from Connor. Didn't bite off too much, just waited for the right time to really unleash these big turns. And right there, look at that, just the wingspan, gets nice and low and just drives off that back foot, that beautiful, stylish, powerful turn from Connor. And again, straight into the next turn. Really important to do that here at Bells Kaipos, to get just that synergy between maneuvers, just that, no mistakes, nice clean flow between those turns, and a nice score to start off for Connor Coffin.
I think he's going to be happy with that 7.67 when he hears the score announced by beach announcers. Meanwhile, tracking this wave is the young Hawaiian. Ezekiel Lau scratches into it. Let's see what Zeke's got. A little shorter radius top turn by Zeke Lau. Hooks it around for turn number 2 and spreads out the wings even more. Working his way down the line. We see those big swoops and the finish for Ezekiel Lau. A nice answer back. Jake Patterson likes it.
Yes, he does. And why wouldn't he? I like the 80% Zeke Lau to start off the heat. I think Zeke's the kind of guy that just needs to get that first wave completed. Once he does, then he just can crank it up even more and more. He's got so much left in the tank. I think if Zeke comes out at 100% and makes a mistake, feels like he's behind the 8 ball and he's playing catch up the whole time.
Yeah, big boy, 6'1" out of Honolulu, Hawaii, and I like your insight on that, identifying this as 80%.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just watch, he's not really nice turn right there from Zeke, but watch this turn here, just hooks into it, just making sure he finishes his wave, completes his turns, pays utmost attention to each maneuver. That's what you've got to do out here at Bells. That just makes it nice and clean. You don't want to have any mistakes. You look at Joel's approach, you look at Geordie's approach. Just set that rail, hook into those turns, and make sure you come out of them nice and clean. Almost lost it there, but nice balance from Zeke Lau, and now he comes off the bottom again, just in the perfect spot. Just draws that turn around, opens those shoulders, big, powerful young Hawaiian. That's what we want to see for him, standing tall and then crouches into his turn. And again, just that big swooping maneuver. I can watch that all day long here at Bells Beach, and that is going to be a fantastic score for Zeke. 80%, and look what he's done with it.
The judges ate that up like a chocolate egg there, Potts. They loved it. A 9-point ride, 9.5, as high as a 9.5, and the low was an 8.8. We average that out, and we get that 9-point ride. Great start for the Hawaiian out of Kapalama Heights in Honolulu. A lot was expected from this young man from a very, very young age. Everyone saw him. He was the great Hawaiian hope, and he finally fulfilled his expectations. First year on the championship tour. This is his rookie year. Second year for Connor Coffin. Both surfers 23. Both surfers with a long future ahead of them. So we're going to see both of these guys for years to come.
The modern day Dane Kiloa, I reckon. He's got that power, you know, he's got that aloha spirit, you know, carries that Hawaiian aloha around the world. He's such a well-liked guy and just surfs with so much passion. And, you know, through these first couple of events of the tour, his results hasn't come, but he's had highlights all the way through. Some amazing moments, but just results have kind of eluded him. So what a great way to start his heat. This is going to give him so much more confidence moving forward, but you cannot take the foot off the gas. Why? Because Connor Coffin is a beast. I mean, he knows how to compete at a high level. He's such a good surfer, and especially here at Bells Beach, feels right at home.
Right at home in the full suit, right at home in the right point break. Something that he's very used to, and wow, what a beautiful turn. Drops the arms behind his back for extra leverage. Felt like he got a little bit caught up, so mentally it looks like, although I thought there was a wonderful turn by Connor Coffin, caught a little bit behind, was looking down the line, probably didn't see a lot of opportunity down there and kicks out.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting the waves that Connor's looking for. I mean, it's those real fast ones, you know, those ones that are kind of a little bit maybe inside more, and it sort of hits that reef, so it doesn't really allow him to open up on those first couple of turns like Zeke did. Zeke's wave from the get-go just allowed him those maneuvers straight away. Connor's waves are kind of high line, and then hooking into it. So he's got to be careful with those wave selection. Very, very important out here at Bells. You want to get those ones that just sort of have that perfect speed that allow you those big turns, just like what Zeke did on his first one.
So 4.5 for that last of Connor Coffin, and just kind of an iconic pulled back shot here, Potts, of just the stacked horizon here and the swell lines that we're seeing at Bells Beach this morning.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's, you know, that's why it's such an iconic event, and that's why we come here every year, and that's why everyone fights tooth and nail to get their name on that bell.
You gotta win it to ring it, and this guy wants to ring a bell. Here we go, Zeke Lau looking to back up that 9-point ride, slashes off the top, comes around this section, stabs it through the lip. One more time, the Hawaiian muscling his way through the Bells Bowl and showing a little bit of variety there with a little carving layback. Comes to the inside, another short radius snap, and there throws everything at a layback hack. Once more, little bonus on the inside. This wave keeps on giving for Ezekiel Lau. Little tail slide. Talk about variety. Talk about power. He knows it, Potts. I'm loving the show.
He's starting to feel it, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's that whole idea of just starting nice and solid. You know, don't try too much of the first wave. You know, pull back a little bit and make sure you finish it off. And that confidence level just is going through the roof right now. And Zeke Lau at 85% on that first wave, dropped a 9-point ride. That's just going to give him so much more confidence moving forward, which we saw in that last wave. And he's picking the right waves too. He's picking those waves that just allow him time to do his turns. Good start to the wave, which is very important. Straight up through the lips, so nice variety right here. Just hooks right into it. He's a big, strong guy, and this wave just lets these taller guys just really, really manhandle these faces as he brings it through the inside. This is where he starts to loosen up. Watch the pizzazz right here, just jams it into a layback snap. He's not done yet. Snaps it off the top. This wave just kept giving all the way through the inside. Zeke Lau throws the tail out. There you go. Thank you very much. Speed, power, flow, variety of repertoire, combination of major maneuvers. He ticked pretty much every box in the criteria on this one wave, and we're looking forward to another big score for the young Hawaiian. Beautiful vertical turn right there. You can see he's not pushing too much, Kaipo. He's just letting the wave be the hero and then reacting accordingly. I love the approach that he's bringing here this morning. A very mature rookie on tour, Zeke Lau, and he just hooks into that turn there. I love it. 9-point ride to start off with, another good one to back it up.
Here we go. Connor Coffin speeding down the line and gaps it. Answering back to Zeke Lau with his own brand of power surfing. Coffin looking on point. He knows he's going to need to drop some big scores. I'm sure he heard the crowd in the announcers, and he is stepping it up. Finishes off on his feet with a nice finishing maneuver. So now the judges owe us 2 scores, and it is on. We talked about at the beginning of the heat, Potts, the battle of the power surfers. These guys are living up to exactly what we expected.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a David and Goliath battle, isn't it? I mean, obviously Connor quite a bit shorter than Zeke Lau, but geez, he packs a punch as well. I love the way Connor Coffin surfs. He had a hit here last year against Geordie Smith and Mick Fanning and took them both down at Bells Beach, so this guy's no stranger to this place. He looked comfortable from the get-go out here, but he's going to have to step it up. Why? Because Zeke Lau's dropped a 9 and he's just about to drop another good score. Connor Coffin high line again as he drives off the bottom straight into this big turn. Hooks into it right there. That's the best turn from him so far this morning. Connor Coffin starting to feel it on this one. Low center of gravity, real powerful young kid. Comes from that Santa Barbara area, so he's used to these colder point break conditions, and Connor locks in my eyes, his best score so far by this turn alone. It is an excellent score as he just drives off that back foot and then pushes. You can see Connor Coffin looking sharp on that wave, and he's going to have to. Beautiful turn there. You can see almost all 3 fins popping out the bottom of that one, and again into maneuver number 2. So Connor Coffin starting to feel it. Look at the face. You can see he means business. There's some puffing up of the cheeks. There's that steely gaze out of the eyes. What a heat we've got on our hands right now. And scores coming through for Zeke Lau's second ride. And maybe a little bit lower than we thought, Kaipo.
Bit surprising. 7.2. I'm sure we're going to have to take another look at it. And I'm sure we're going to pick Richie's brain and the rest of the crew on that one.
6.8 from one judge.
So now we're still on standby for last of Connor Coffin. Coffin, you can see him with that new Rip Curl Wave logo on his nose. So he is now surfing in front of his sponsors crowd, and he wants to impress them. Let's have the judges review on the waves right here.
Yeah, that first turn from Connors was amazing, absolutely amazing. Just the drive that he gets out of his turns, the speed, the confidence that he goes in and out of those maneuvers with. A very impressive sort of put together wave right there from Connor. Definitely his best wave. And I dare say that's going to go up into the excellent range.
Well, his requirement, and the score has yet to drop for Coffin, an 8.54 will put Connor up into the lead over Zeke Lau, and it comes up short as an 8.1. So the situation remains the same with scores all locked in. Zeke Lau ahead of Connor Coffin. Connor Coffin out, still looking for that excellent range, low excellent range of 8.11 to take the lead back.
Well, interesting scores on those last 2 rides. That single maneuver from Connor I thought was enough to push it way up into the excellent range. 8.10. It made the excellent range, but the lower part of excellent Zeke Lau, I thought his wave was an excellent score as well, but it came in at a 7.20. 14 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Zeke still got that lead though. Connor needing an 8.11. What a heat though, Copes. What a heat.
What a heat. And we sure got excited here on the set.
We love the power surfing, man. This is what it's all about here at Bells Beach.
That's right, Potts. Well, we'll be back with more power surfing after this short break. You want to stay tuned in because it's heating up between Connor Coffin and Ezekiel Lau here at the Rip Curl Pro.
In this sport, you're gonna lose way more than you win. I feel like the losing and the winning, the ups and downs, you learn a lot more about how to control your emotions and control your whole life. I commit my whole life pretty much to this sport, and at the end of the day, I feel like you learn a lot about yourself.
I wanted him to be different, and I wanted him to set himself apart from the normal surfer.
I guess his path has been a little rocky.
Zeke definitely puts a lot of pressure just on himself. You know, just coming from Hawaii, it's a lot of weight on your back.
I felt like I learned so much this year, and I grew so much as a competitor and as a surfer, and everything's just happening so quick. You gotta just grab on and hold on. It's a crazy ride.
And that was a great little glimpse into a profile of Ezekiel Lau out in the league right now. You can get more of all these athlete profiles over at worldsurfleague.com/profiles, and you can see that full piece on Ezekiel Lau, as well as some other super interesting pieces there that the World Surf League puts together.
Well, we get to know a lot more about these characters that are the sport of surfing, and you know, it's. I think we need more Hawaiians on tour. I mean, it's where the sport was spawned, and Zeke Lau carries the weight of Hawaii on his shoulders. You can tell that. You know, it's. I'm stoked the young man's on tour, and he's got a fight on his hands at the moment, though. Connor Coffin, here he goes.
Coffin, starting off with that typical high line, now gets to the bottom, mid-face turn, building up some speed, and another beautiful arc just slashing through there, keeping the board on rail, powering through, utilizing both rail and fin projection. And you can see the grace and power in which Connor Coffin surfs a little bit late to the lip there, but pulls it off and feels good about it when he kicks out, you can tell.
Well, Connor still looking for a score, and let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, 811 required. Let's have a look. First turn, hooks into it nicely, comes around the section, double pump. I love that double pump. It just sets the rail nicely for him. A couple of searing maneuvers. Talk about power. I mean, this is probably one of the power hits so far today. Zeke Lau hooking into it, Connor Coffin doing exactly the same. These guys, David and Goliath, battle, matching each other wave for wave, power for power. And, well, Connor's going to have to hook into this turn to get the big points. What's this next turn, though? This is the money shot right here as he draws off the bottom and then just drives off it, just opens those shoulders, stands that back leg and just puffs those cheeks up. The judges love it. Scores dropping already, Kaipo. And we are going to have a seesaw battle here from these two young guys. The future of our sport, you could say, the future of power surfing. Connor Coffin, variety of repertoire with the speed that we're talking about, matching wave for wave with the Zeke Lau, and the score drops. Needed an 811, and there it is.
Got an 8.3, so now Coffin takes the lead. Zeke Lau in the back seat. Now Zeke looking for a 7.4 to take that lead back from Connor Coffin. And Potts, you're 100% right. The future of power surfing is in really good hands here on the championship tour, especially with these two surfers.
You know what? It's never going to go old. You know, it's never not going to be a part of surfing. That rail game it has been relevant since day dot, and it's like, you know, however many years down the track you can think about it, it's still going to be relevant. It's still a massive part of our sport. You're not going to be recognized as one of the world's best if you can't put that board on the rail and show that power.
And I think we kind of went through a little bit of a phase in competitive surfing where there was people were enamored with the air game, and the rail surfing kind of took a back seat, I have a feeling, for a couple of years, or through events and through transitions. And now 2017, even last year 2016, is really coming back up to the forefront, where you really need to show that you have grasp of power, and especially just the fundamentals in surfing. And then if you can have the air game on top of that and some innovation, then hey, that's a bonus, and that takes you to the next level. But you always have to have that foundation.
You do. You've got to have that solid base. It's as a kid growing up, as a baby you start crawling, then you start walking, then you start running, right? And that's just the natural progression. Same thing with surfing. You've got to learn to do a turn before you can actually do an air. And if you don't have that solid base as a kid growing up, I grew up riding single fins, and I recommend that, by the way, to get the kids on single fins, to get them riding that, to teach them to hold that board on the rail and to surf in the pocket and find the power source of the wave, because that's so important. Kids are growing up these days, flying down the line, just going for those big airs all the time. Teach your kid the rail game, because it's never going to go out of style.
There you go, kids, from Professor Potts. First, get a solid bottom turn, fundamentals wired, get a solid roundhouse fundamentals wired, and get a solid carve fundamentals. And then you can go on and learn your air reverses and so forth.
Exactly right.
I love it. I love the insight. Well, we got a lot of people who are interested in what's going on in the water, and some of the people are the coaches. So we're in the coaches' corner right here with Strider Wazalewski.
Thanks, Kaipo. Yeah, down here in the coach's corner, they call it, on the stairs, the iconic stairs here at Bells Beach. So we got Jake the Snake Patterson. He's in the Quicksilver corner, obviously trying to get Zeke through this. We just lost Leo, but he had a great heat, so they gave him a heads up, keep the head up. Good surfing out of Leo, but right now Zeke's out in the water. And you got our man Micro over there, Glenn Micro Hall, in Connor's corner. So, obviously he's given Tyler Wright a few words as well. It's all happening down here in the corner. You got Tommy Witz. Everybody's down here watching the waves, talking about scores, trying to figure out what to tell the athletes, and then actually our boy Jake Patterson here, he's got a bright orange rag that he's waving to signal his athlete in the water to try and get him onto the best wave. So pretty fun to watch, see all the little nuances that go on behind the scenes down here on the stairs. And a good conversation, too. If we could get in on that, boy, that's a funny one.
Strider, did you talk to Snake at all about Leo's heat? That's 3 25ths in a row leaving Australia.
I did. And you know what? He said, look, he's just built momentum coming in as a true rookie on tour. There is a lot of pressure, and it seems to have shaken off a lot of that. So they gave him some really positive words coming off of that heat. And Leo was, still a little bit, baffled as to why he didn't win the heat. But with it, they gave him some great positive enforcement. So here goes Zeke. Let's see what he's got as the coach's corner is about to light up.
Ezekiel Lau fighting back. A couple of beautiful carves. And before this wave, I'm sure he internalized when he heard that last score. So now really putting it on rail and finishing with a big layback hack. Power rail surfing, but right behind him, Connor Coffin keeps it on rail, but just a little blown out with the fins there, goes incomplete. So opportunity for Zeke Lau as he paddles back out, hoping to get a 7.4 better and retake that lead. What do you think, Potts, on that last wave? Well, you know what?
I'm just trying to digest it right now.
We need to take another look at it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was, I think way better than his 7.2. A little bit more commitment. Got that board a little bit more on the rail. Let's have a look. This first turn, very important here at Bells. Drives off that turn there. Didn't get all the way around, but set this next one up perfectly. That's better. Drew out that turn and then jamming it there even better. So that was way better. Putting the board on the rail and then showing the variety with that layback snap. And it was a no-brainer that score was going to go up into the excellent range. But how much we didn't know. Now we do, Kaipo. Have a look at that.
That's right. An excellent score of a 9.4 for Ezekiel Lau. He retakes that lead from Connor Coffin. And now with 4 minutes and 35 seconds, Connor Coffin's back to the drawing board, needing 2 scores of a combination of an 18.41 or better. Connor hearing the news out of the water from our beach announcers.
Not what you want to hear.
Not with only 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah. I thought that was definitely Zeke's best wave. I mean, it was back-to-back turns. There was no messing around. There was no downtime in between maneuvers. Confidence, put a lot of power into it, got that board on the rail. I think it was like the third turn of that wave was the money shot for sure, and then finished strong. Started strong, finished strong, joined the dots in between. 9.4, thank you very much.
Well, the rookie, Ezekiel Lau, first year on the championship tour. And a 9 and a 9.4 has got to feel good for the young Hawaiian because this is his highest heat total so far this year. Started off with a 13th. That snapper bowed out early in Margaret Rivers with a 25th, so he's feeling good right now. But you know what was really impressive to me, Potts, is his ability to change on the fly. After hearing that 7.2 for a wave that he did all kinds of different turns on and had that variety, he changed his approach on wave number 3 for that 9.4 and stuck to pure carving.
Exactly. He cut out the cute moves and just did the man turns. This is Bells Beach. This is a man's wave. Let's see the man turns. He did that and the judges ate it up. So now he knows what he's got to do moving forward. He's going to go, oh, okay, that light bulb moment, where you realize exactly what the judges are looking for. And, maybe not a bad idea to go and have a talk to the judges and say, hey, moving forward, what are you looking for? What kind of surfing are you wanting? And it kind of does change every heat with the conditions. But if it's like this all day long, the judges are going to kind of have that same scale. So find out from the judges what they're looking for. Go have a chat to them at the end of the day or before the day even starts and work that out. That way you paddle out and you give them what they want, and you're going to know what to expect.
Yeah, for me, the lesson was, honestly, was the fin drifts and losing the fins and those tail slides that we saw Zeke on wave number 2 were not the scoring maneuvers. And the judges want you holding that rail throughout the entire turn and really bring, like you were saying at the beginning of this heat, that surfing big and that carving maneuvers, which is appropriate for this canvas at Bells Bowl.
Yep. Leave those tail slides for snapper rocks and trestles and places like that. This is a unique wave, and how do you surf it? You look at the guys that are successful here, the Geordie Smiths, the Mick Fannings, the Joel Parkinsons, the Kelly Slaters. They don't do those little slidey, sort of soft turns. They put the board on the rail and they drive through their maneuvers and then connect it with something radical. So Zeke now knows what he's got to do.
It all makes sense. Let's take another look at this 9-4 pots.
Yeah, important to get the good start. So that's exactly what he did. Got that rail set straight away, hooked into this turn. An important thing to crank it up as you go down the line, which he did right there. You can hear the oohs and the ahs from the crowd, and then finish strong. So, tell you what, it wasn't a long wave. It doesn't need to be a long wave. It's the quality of maneuvers that get judged out here today. And Zeke Lau absolutely nailed that, just cranking it up as he went down the line. Each turn got a little bit more and more on edge, put that board a little bit more and more on rail, and the judges ate it up and hooked into that last maneuver. Almost caught that edge, but rode out of it nice and clean. 9.4. Two judges went as high as 9.7.
Wow.
So there you go.
And you need to look no further than history when the approach at the Rip Curl Pro at Bells. The two winningest surfers, Mick Fanning, Joel Parkinson, obviously guys with some of the best rail game ever in surfing. So there you go. It all makes sense. The equations make sense. The criteria make sense to me now with this illustration in this heat.
Yeah, you just got to look at past winners, the likes of Mark Richards and Michael Peterson, Simon Anderson, the Tom Carrolls, the guys that really put, it's like I said, it's a man's wave. You got to do man turns if you want to win it.
Well, the rest of the surfers also, I'm sure, are digesting this heat, and we're going to have some motivation as well as a little bit more education on what they need to do. Connor Coffin just with 10 seconds remaining, and this is just going to be a ride in for Coffin and just maybe get a little frustration out. But that's the end. That's the last we're going to see of Connor here at the Rip Curl Pro.
Unfortunate. I thought Connor surfed really well.
Yeah.
I think he's well and truly on track with what he's doing. He's looking confident. I think his boards look great under his feet. Just unfortunate he came up against someone that dropped a couple of nines, and there's not much you can really do about that.
That's right. Ezekiel Lau on to round number 3 in Hawaiian. We say ho'omaikai. We say congratulations to the young Hawaiian, and great showing by both of these surfers. That was exciting, and we're going to be back with more exciting surfing here at the Rip Curl Pro. We're bringing in Ronnie Blakey and Peter Mel for the call.